actors and artists and celebrities and politicians. It's like everybody's at Quincy's house. It's like The Wiz without the costumes.
He set up rings in Hollywood. And the people that he brought in, if y'all tell me if I'm lying, Quincy Jones brought in Fresh Prince.
All right, I open the door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne and having anal with Will.
And have not anal Will Smith has eventually broken his silence after his former adjunct exposed his affair with Dwayne Martin. And another bigwig claimed that Quincy Jones introduced Will to the life of secret gay rituals in Hollywood. Several people have now come forward with analogous stories, and they all claim Quincy allegedly prepped Will before he cast him in The Fresh Prince of Bel. Suckers are now saying this explains a lot about Will and Jada's marriage, and they believe the main reason Will not disjoin Jada is because she knows all his secrets. But what exactly did Will say about these allegations? And what is the real verity about his relationship with Quincy Jones? Let's get into it. There was a settee, and Will was bent over on the settee, and Dwayne was standing up killing him. After times of enterprise about his fornication, Will Smith eventually decided to address these allegations head-on. Will's statement comes after his former adjunct, Family Bilal, made the captions before this week with claims that he walked by on Will and his bruited nut, Dwayne Martin. Meanwhile, reports also surfaced that it was Quincy Jones who introduced Will to the life of secret gay parties, where over and coming actors have to perform for assiduity directors. Now, to give you some environment, Will met Quincy at one of Quincy's house parties when he was around 19 or 20, and Will latterly credited Quincy for saving his career. After the original success of his hipsterism, Hot Brace DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, Will started blowing plutocrat, and by 1989, he'd owed the IRS nearly 3 million bones. But also he set up himself at one of Quincy's assiduity parties, and his life changed. Benny Medina, who by the way was latterly indicted by actor Jason Dockley of Say, was also at the party, and he introduced Will to Quincy and pitched him the idea for a Fresh Prince sitcom. Quincy made Will investigation on the spot, and he was so impressed that he incontinently got his attorneys to draft up a contract. Still, there has been a lot of enterprise over the times that, when Quincy made Will investigation, he asked for commodity more. These enterprises stem from long-standing rumors about Quincy being the gay doorkeeper in Hollywood who throws secret parties where age directors turn youthful up, and coming actors and vocalizers. And also, a many times Agon AE, reports surfaced that songster Tevin Campbell, who came out as gay in 2022, was endeavored by Quincy. Interestingly, Will mentions in his autobiography that he saw Tevin at Quincy's party that night when Quincy made him investigation for Fresh Prince. Will writes, by the time I arrived, the party was on full bang. Everybody was there, from Steven Spielberg to Tevin Campbell. Stevie Wonder and Lionel Richie were arriving as I pulled up. That was too important for me. I knew I did not belong there. Now Tevin latterly denied that Quincy's. At him still, the enterprise did not end there because in the meantime, reports surfaced that Quincy tried commodity analogous with Tupac. According to multiple assiduity interposers, Tupac, who dated Quincy's son, Khadida Jones, had plans to leave death row and subscribe with Quincy's marker previous to his death in '96. Still, according to rumors, Tupac turned down Quincy's deal after Quincy made a nasty offer. Tupac allegedly said this in his Vibe interview with Angie Martinez. And while some corridor of this interview can be set up online, there is a large part missing. See, the interview lasted over 2 hours. Still, Angie vented only 12 twinkles. When Billboard magazine asked her why she did not release the whole interview, Angie said she bothered Tupac's commentary would have made East Coast vs West Coast beef worse than it formerly was at the time. Still, Tupac did not just talk about his beef with the East Coast for 2 hours. He allegedly also made some shocking allegations about Quincy Jones, and supposedly this part of the interview was blurted after Pac's death, before it was snappily buried again. Numerous people who were old enough to flashback when this first blurted have said they heard Tupac explicitly saying, that he cut Quincy out after Quincy asked him for a sexual favor. One of the assiduity numbers who claimed this is former public adversary member Professor Griff, who contended that Quincy had multiple people excluded to cover his secret. When Tupac came to Hollywood, it was the homosexual ritual. This is where the homosexuals came out against him. But I did not mind. I was not talking about homosexuals. I am saying there is a homosexual ritual that they go through in the Illuminati secret societies. And it is. Tupac said, he was asked by Quincy Jones, FF him in the A. When Tupac said no, that is when Tupac was mocked to death. Why? Because Tupac was engaged to Quincy Jones's son. Quincy Jones's son, his stylish friend, was Aaliyah. Aaliyah was engaged to Damn Gusto. Now, if you'll follow these people back, all of them either failed or was brought to ruin. Professor Griff also claimed that Quincy set up a coitus ring in Hollywood and dragooned numerous youthful manly impersonators to share in his gay rituals. And also Professor Griff suggested that Will Smith was one of these men. And he refocused out that Will's first movie part after meeting Quincy was 6 Degrees of Separation, where he played a gay con artist. And his first movie was what? 6 Degrees of Separation. And this brings us to the allegations about Will and Duane Martin. These two struck up a close fellowship after Duane appeared in one occasion of The Fresh Prince. But over time, rumors started circulating that the nature of their relationship had changed. And also in 2012, Star magazine published an exclusive report claiming that Will and Jada were on the point of divorce after Duane, on a holiday to Trinidad, and an viewer there reportedly spotted them having a romantic regale. The source claimed that Jada was furious because Will was neglecting the family for Duane. Will spends significantly further time with Duane than he does with Jada and the kiddies, the bigwig said, adding that Jada feels like Will wants his relationship with Duane in her face, taking him on fantastic recesses while she's sitting home alone. Moving on, in 2018, Duane's woman, Tisha Campbell, filed for divorce. And 2 times latterly, Tisha reflected on Jada's trap situation with August Halcyon, putatively attesting that commodity happened between Will and Duane. Tisha participated a communication on Instagram about how the verity always comes out in the end, and she responded to an addict comment saying, "They will lie till the end. The real kiki is, people will stop believing them." Now, Tisha did not name any names, but notice how she wrote Will in all caps doubly. And now on top of all this, Will's former adjunct, Family Bilal, dropped a stunner in his new interview with Tasha K, claiming that he caught Will, and also, "I saw 2 acts that when I see the Wayne, and having a nose, but will they reuse it for a second? There was a setter, and Will was bent over on the settee, and the Wayne was standing up killing murder, like murder it was murder there. And it looks like the Walls interview touched off, because that same day a rep for Will issued a statement to TMZ, saying this story is fully fabricated and the claim is unequivocally false. Meanwhile, another source close to Will told TMZ that Will is considering taking legal action against Bilal. Now a lot of suckers are saying, it's strange that Will felt the need to put out an sanctioned statement because Bilal did not charge him of any crime. So Will's response seems a little over the top. Either way, most suckers agree that it's not the law's place to out Will. Still, they're also saying this explains a lot about Will and Jada's marriage, as long as he's not holding anyone hostage to keep his fornication secret. Also, who cares? One addict said, but if he was living a taradiddle that was causing his woman or anyone to act out and feel crazy because he could not face the verity about himself, that would be a problem for me. Else, it does not really count. As for Quincy, numerous suckers are saying they believe all the allegations about his gay ritual parties. Someone said, makes sense, because back in the day, Quincy did not want to deal with black women, perhaps because they did not want to put up with bees. And another person wrote, I heard the audio of Tupac saying that about Quincy with my own cognizance about 10 times Agwan. Quincy is or was the crucial holder to the black music assiduity. Anyone at the top position had gotten there by partaking in his parties. But let's hear what you supposed about Quincy's bruited parties. And how do you feel about Will putting out a statement to deny having an affair with Duane Martin? Comment down below and do not miss out on this coming story.